everyone, it's Emily Graziano here, and I'm finally, after 5 years of putting it at the top of my watch list and just not paying any attention to it, I'm finally gonna do a review on the movie called The Electric Horseman from 1979, starring Jane Fonda and Robert Redford, directed by Sydney Pollack. Guys, this has been a long time coming, like I said. It just got put on my watch list. I heard about it. I watched the trailer, read up on the general premise, and then it got put on my watch list, and it just kept sitting there and sitting there and sitting there and sitting there for 5 years. 5 years is a very long time. That's half a decade for something to sit on your watch list. And I finally just one night said, I'm just going to do this. I got online and I searched what streaming platform is The Electric Horseman on, and I found it, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to watch it. And guys, what a mistake it was for me to put it off for that long. Let me just say that right away now. I wish I would have watched this maybe almost straight away when I put it on. Like 5 weeks is understandable if you put it off for that long, like getting the materials, finding out where it's going to be, all that. But 5 years is inexcusable, therefore I do this fun review. Okay, so like I said, this movie stars Jane Fonda and Robert Redford, and this is a movie of collaboration of sorts. Robert Redford is certainly known for his legendary collaboration with the director Sydney Pollack. Their first movie they ever did together was This Property is Condemned, and then they did hits like Jeremiah Johnson, The Way We Were. Even though I personally don't like The Way We Were, they did 3 Days of the Condor. That's the next one I want to see. They did, oh shoot, I'm blanking on it. But they did all, I know after this movie they went on to do Out of Africa, and then Havana, and I'm totally missing one that they did, because they did 7 together, and I'm blanking on the one that they did. But anyway, 7 movies together. And then Jane Fonda worked with Sydney Pollack 10 years prior in a movie called They Shoot Horses, Don't They? This is a fascinating psychological film that I personally did not like the first time I watched it. I saw it at surface level, right? And I'm watching, I'm like, well, this is kind of dumb. And then I started diving deeper into the whole psychology of it all and the time period in which it was shot, and I didn't watch it on my phone, which is a big mistake, because the first time I watched it, it was on YouTube. I think it's since been deleted off YouTube, just uploaded by somebody random, and then I'm like, well, that was kind of dumb. Then a film blogger friend, Jillian, she said, oh, you gotta give that movie another shot, and I did, and I really enjoy it now. So I think I've come around to Sydney Pollack, because I once said in a video I did, I don't really like his direction his work as a director, but I think I've taken that back now. But the one thing I will not alter my stance on is I don't like The Way We Were. I just don't. I don't understand what makes it so romantic. The song is great, like the song will live forever, but I don't like the movie whatsoever, and unless you're willing to pay me like $3,000 to sit down and watch it, I will not watch it again. Anyway, Redford and Fonda, this was their third collaboration together, because they previously did Barefoot in the Park together, which I absolutely love this movie so much. And before that, they did a movie called The Chase, which was their first collaboration. So they do The Chase, Barefoot in the Park, Electric Horseman, and in 2017 they reunited on Netflix for a movie called Our Souls at Night, which I saw that, and it was really heart-wrenching in all the right reasons. It was so sweet. And it had all these little callbacks to not only their movies that they did together, but movies that they've done separately in their careers, and it was so sweet. I really enjoy it. I hope one day it gets put out on disc, because I would love to add it to my collection. And I really enjoyed these 2 movies that they did together, and Our Souls at Night. But The Chase, although I can say I've seen it, personally, I'm in the camp that doesn't like it. That's a movie that can go either way, and I don't like The Chase. But anyway, back to talking about the true background of The Electric Horseman. This movie also contains the acting debut of Willie Nelson, who also did the music for the movie. For me, I'm not really a country music fan. I just don't. I'd heard maybe some of his songs just because they're that popular, but I'm not like a super fan. I don't dislike him, but it's not like I'm a crazy like super fan where I know a lot about Willie Nelson. So I thought that was really cool. He actually plays the role of Sonny's dad in the movie. Robert Redford, that is. Sonny Steele, and we have Hallie, the journalist. I'll get to that in a moment. But I wanted to point out that currently, this 2019 North American Blu-ray release is the only home media release that contains the song My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys, because apparently in every other home media release, that song is taken out and replaced with sound-alike recordings. I just wanted to let you be aware of that because that kind of sucks. You're altering the music soundtrack. That's horrible. Just wanted to make you aware of that. So let's delve into the premise of this film. Robert Redford plays a washed-up rodeo rider named Sonny Steele. That's kind of a stage name, by the way, and they get into that a little bit within the premise of the movie. And because his injuries and the health of the horse and everything like that, and more so his aging, like Sonny's aging, he's now regulated to selling breakfast cereal with his name and image on it, and going on these like silly little press tours, like going to grocery stores and taking pictures of toddlers, promoting the breakfast cereal in these stupid little infomercials, like breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and if you eat breakfast you can be like me, like Rising Star, because Rising Star is the name of his horse, by the way. And by the intro sequence, it kind of delves into like what Sonny is doing now after he's like stopped rodeo riding. And you can tell by doing these silly little outings, and like, they show him going to a high school football stadium and just riding on the horse saying, "Remember kids, eat your breakfast," just silly little things like that. You can tell he's really disillusioned and fed up and forced into the job, and his horse Rising Star actually becomes injured, and without his knowledge, his media team or his management, whatever you want to call it, they're actually drugging the horse without his knowledge, and that really incenses him once he finds out. But once he finds out about this in Vegas, on an outing in Vegas, he decides, okay, that's it. I've had enough. And he goes on a mission to free his horse. And that's kind of where Jane Fonda comes in, because she plays a news journalist who, when they're in Vegas, she's on assignment in Vegas, and she's going to meet him at the press tour. And Sonny comes in late, and they make a joke like, "Mr. Steele, what made you 45 minutes late?" And he answers, "Well, I was giving mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to a bottle of tequila, and it turns out we lost her too." And that was just really, really funny. So the movie is comedic, kind of serious in the sense that he's working to free this horse. And it touches a little bit on animal cruelty, which is heartbreaking because you don't want to see any of these majestic, beautiful creatures harmed. And I'll say this, I'm not a horse enthusiast, but this movie made me care about the horse. I don't know why, but I just started to care about the horse because I did. And it's not that I dislike horses, it's just I'm not an enthusiast. I'm not like the late great Queen Elizabeth II, because she loved dogs and horses, and while I'm crazy about dogs, I've never been that crazy about horses. I don't ever think I'd get up and ride one because they have a mind of their own. But, like, I've petted a horse at, like, this petting zoo or whatever. And it was like a real horse. I petted a horse and it was really beautiful. But I've just never been a horse enthusiast. But I really cared about this animal. Anyway, Jane Fonda, she shows up at this press conference. And when you see their first interaction in this movie, they have like this mutual dislike for each other, but it's also the beginning of a mutual spark for each other because it's them two. Like, they've done 2 movies before, and they're gonna end up together, but it's just, how are they gonna end up together? What's going to make the change from like a dislike to a like to falling for each other? And that's where the meat of the story is, in my opinion. Not only is it freeing this horse, but it's their journey together, because once she finds out that he's on this crazy mission to free the horse, she wants to be the first journalist to break that story, and that kind of becomes her subplot of, well, I'm starting to fall for him, and he's doing this beautiful gesture of freeing this horse in the wild, but I have a job to do, kind of that dilemma. And it's interesting. It's kind of cliche, the whole movie. Like, you can guess what's going to happen. You can guess how this is all going to end, but it's a journey you want to take because it's them two together, and that's the magic of the movie. I think Fonda and Redford work so well together. You can tell that their familiarity after doing Barefoot in the Park and The Chase, even though I don't like The Chase. The Chase is, again, a movie worth watching, but not a movie worth owning, I think. And Marlon Brando plays the sheriff, and that The Chase got put in developmental hell for like 10 years. And Marlon Brando was supposed to play the Redford role, and Spencer Tracy was supposed to play the Brando role, but then everybody aged out of their roles because it got put on the back burner for so long, and then they had to retool the whole thing. And I think, not that anybody gives a bad performance, it's just the script needed major help. It's not that great. But if you can catch it, you can watch it, but I personally don't like it. But you can tell their familiarity with working with each other is just magic, because I love Barefoot in the Park. And then here, they're just as cute. They're not married or anything in this movie, but it's like, I think it's cute because they keep flirting with each other. The banter of mutual dislike turns to flirting, and then eventually turns to, like, this adorableness, and it's so freaking adorable. I think Robert Redford is so charismatic, so likable, even when he's being kind of cynical and snarky and sarcastic, he's still likable because he's Robert Redford. He puts that likability factor. Even when he's being unlikable, you still like him. It's just that factor he possesses, something that I don't think we see too often on screen anymore, because we don't, and it's really, really sad. So I think this movie is completely underrated. I don't know if it's as popular as it was back then as it is today. I don't know if it's like forgotten or anything like that, but I say that it's definitely a movie worth watching. And I got really emotional when watching this movie, and I shocked myself by how emotional I was going to be, because there's the scene towards the end, and it involves the horse, and it was just so beautiful. I'd never seen anything quite like that on film, and I surprised myself by how taken I was with the beauty of the scene and the connection that Redford has with this horse, with his character Sonny has with this horse, and Redford in real life having with the horse. So that was a beautiful thing for me personally, and it was very shocking for me. So that's why I really recommend this movie, because it shocked me in a beautiful way. It was so cute to watch, and with the romance and everything like that. I think that's what really sold me at first. I'm like, okay, well, it's them two together, so why not? Like, it's gonna be good. So I really loved that aspect. So it's somewhat Western, it's somewhat romance, it's somewhat like comedy, and then you have the animal aspect. So that's what I think. On paper, it seems like a mishmash, but then you watch it on screen and it's really beautiful. So I really adored this movie, and I definitely will be watching again. I want my mom to watch it with me because she didn't watch it with me when I watched it, and I think she'll really like it. She actually heard about it when it first came out, but she like never saw the whole thing fully through. She's seen bits and pieces on cable or whatever. But finally, I think I'm going to make her watch it with me fully through. So I didn't want to keep this too long, so I'm going to wrap it up. I wanted to keep it kind of spoiler-free, but I'm Emily Graziano, and I want to thank you for watching my review of The Electric Horseman. It's a really great movie, and definitely, 3 Days of the Condor may be next. Watch out for that. Maybe I'll do a review on that. But thank you for watching. I'm Emily, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.